So if you're on the indies and it was starting to feel like you weren't loving it, you weren't having fun anymore, do you feel like in a way it became full circle after you get signed, that there was a point where you're like, this isn't as fun as I thought it was going to be?
Ooh, oh, yes. And okay, we're gonna talk about it. I feel like I need to talk about it just to get it off my chest and to get it out there in the universe, because my last 4 months was just one of those moments that I wasn't having fun anymore. And it started with Shotzzy being gone and Shotzzy being drafted. And I remember like thinking like I was sitting at home and I got a phone call saying, "Hey, we don't want you to be upset, but Shotzi just got moved to SmackDown and she's debuting with Tegan Knox as a tag team." And I just was sitting there and I was like, I was playing D&D, the most beautiful day of my week, and I'm getting this phone call about how Shotzi's been drafted. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so happy for her. And then like the tag team thing popped out and I was like, but we're the tag team and we have merch and we're doing fun things. And we had just finally gotten into our groove of the banter. And it was just like, but they're like, don't worry, we have stuff for you. And I was like, okay, cool. And I remember like going to Hunter, and Hunter was just like, I have no clue what's happening. We'll figure it out together. And like that was like so much of what I needed at that time, because no one really knew what was happening. You know, Bailey had gotten injured and they I know Shotzi and Tegan were going to do dark matches for a tryout anyway, you know, and they were like, well, we already have these girls here, let's throw them out there. But the problem I had was kind of like some of the newer writers were like, coming from Raw, coming from SmackDown, we had no idea you and Shotzi were a tag team. And like just sitting there, and just a lot of WWE backstage is having to play the game of like, oh yeah, man, it's cool. We get it. We're down here at NXT. It wasn't like we weren't front page of .com or anything when we won the titles, but that's fine. Yes, and you're just having to I guess eat the shit sandwich and smile with shit in your teeth a lot of the times, because it's all about not making waves. And it's just like, okay, yeah, it's fine, cool. Yeah, I bet you didn't know we were a tag team. Look at Shop, look at this, you know. And it's just like, okay, cool. And it was like, you know, me and Hunter and the head writer at the time, we had all came up with, we're gonna do a heel turn for me because that's something new, that's something different. And during this process, we wanted to do like a losing streak, or at least that was my thought, is let me do the losing streak. I see all these new faces coming through here. My part of my job at NXT was to help new talent on TV, you know, which I get that, you know, I've been around for a very long time, or like, and I've been doing this what, like 16, 17 years at this point in time, you know. And it was like, you know, and I love this business so much that I didn't mind. I was like, hey, let me go on a losing streak, let me get super frustrated, and let me turn. Right.
Yeah.
And I remember, okay, this is a great idea. We got ABCDF. We're going to do your first feud with this person or this person. And then the first match happens, and then I'm off TV for 4 weeks. And then I'm like, okay. They're like, don't worry, we got this. Then like Hunter disappeared. And then I was supposed to do a match with Saray, and I ended up getting a rash on my arm, and I had an allergic reaction to something that they thought was something else. So they pulled me from the match. And I was like, okay, cool, whatever. That's fine. All right, we're going to keep trucking. They're like, hey, we'll do this match next week. And then another 3 weeks later, they're like, hey, we're going to do this match. That match gets pulled from TV. And then, you know, one of the head coaches goes, hey, will you do me a favor and work 205 Live with Cora Jade? We really like her. She's a sweet girl. We really think this would be a fun match. You two are in the main event of 205. And I was like, okay, cool. That sounds great. Like, I'm never going to say no to having a match on TV, regardless of where it's airing or whatever like that. And me and Cora go out there and we have just a fun banger of a match. And they're like, yeah, you guys, and they go, you're turning in this match, but we want to make it subtle. Right. So they kind of turn me, but they don't. And then there was like a lot of, I don't know, confusion on what was supposed to happen. And then some kind of way, I remember going online to be like, did did Ember turn heel? Did she? And like that, I was like, I don't know if I turned heel or not, and then off TV for 3 weeks, and I have the match with Mandy, and they're like, we're finally pulling the trigger on this. And I get a note that week saying, hey, in 2 weeks, we need you to dye your hair fire colored again. We need you to get the red contacts. You're going back to the old Ember Moon character. This is per Vince. And we want you're going to turn heel, but you're going to turn heel as your old character. We're trying to get the old music and all that stuff together. And I was like, all right, great. This is great. So I go home, get my bottle of whiskey. I'm dyeing this hair because I have to hand dye that myself. It takes an astronomical amount of time.
You do it all yourself?
Yes, I dye my hair extensions. That fire colored ombre takes a minimum of 8 hours.
Oh my gosh.
It is extremely tedious. And like, mind you, during COVID, my dye supplier actually shut down. So I'm having to find different colors, and I'm spending a fortune on this hair. And 2 weeks later, I show up to TV. I'm like super motivated. I'm happy. And I'm like, okay, it's finally looking up for me. Just wait it out. Just wait it out. And I remember Ryan Katz and I went and filmed like a kind of demo of kind of the vibe that I wanted. And I was like, and he's like, this could be awesome. Da, da, da. Come back. I get the video ready. I'm ready to show everyone after TVs. And they go, hey, we got some bad news. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? I got this video. No, Vince is pulling you off TV indefinitely.
What?
And I just kind of sat there and I was just like, what did I do wrong? And he's like, you did nothing wrong. And I was like, I have done everything that you guys have asked me. I have gone over and above. Like, I can't express to you, like, when they put me and Shotzi in a tag team, everyone backstage knew, like, I'm not a tag team person. I hate tag teams because there's just too many moving parts. And it's not that I hate tag team wrestling. It's just that it requires so much more to give versus relying just on yourself for that. You have to rely on like 3 other people in the ring to make sure everything's on point, which is fun. And I feel like me and Shotzi capitalized on it. And we were just so motivated within that tag team to build a division. And then we weren't able to. But like me showing up to that TVs and it's like 2 a.m. And I just remember sitting there and I was like, I've done everything you guys have asked me to. I've done over and beyond. I've branched out. Sorry, I'm getting emotional about it. I'm trying not to, but
I understand. Like, this is the dream job, especially like someone who's a wrestling fan, like lifelong wrestling fan.
And when you care about something and you care about this business so much more, not just for yourself, but for everyone involved, it hurts so much more because for so many years, I've been not about myself, if that makes sense. I've been for the match, for the other people. And to be told that I have done nothing wrong and I was taken off TV for doing absolutely nothing wrong, it hurt so bad because I was so happy walking into work. And I remember once Shotzi left, I remember going to my makeup artist and going, I'm so unhappy. And we'd have to sit through stupid meetings about how we would have to dress sexy. And I remember looking at someone, I was like, no, I cater to children. I am not about to wear fishnet booty butt cheek shorts because we had a 2-hour meeting about how to dress like Mandy Rose. That's not fair. Not everyone is going to be Mandy. Mandy is absolutely phenomenal and she is an amazing person, but not everyone is Mandy Rose. And that's like, I started seeing this downslope as soon as Hunter was gone. And like for the first little bit, we didn't know why he was gone. We just knew he wasn't there, And so it became this, like, I got so angry. And I remember sitting there and I was like, I did nothing wrong. I didn't piss off Vince. I said, you take Shotzi away from me. Now Hunter's gone, and I said, like, you guys promised me this wouldn't happen. You guys promised I wouldn't be lost in the shuffle. And I said, I went on this losing streak to help you guys out, to help build other talent so I could get a reward. And they were like, well, not everything's lost, Ember. We still want you to come and help out the next generation, maybe teach a class. maybe, do some PC Lives, which is the student show in front of no fans. And I'm just like, so you're taking me off TV and you're trying to make me a coach. And I just remember like laughing, and I was like, you know what? I said, if I've done nothing wrong, I said, you can cancel all my flights. I said, I'm not coming to help these people that do not care about what I do. They only care about the paycheck that hits their bank account. They're not passionate like me. I'm not going to come up here and help these people that don't care about what we do when there's no benefit for me. Yeah. When I've done nothing wrong, when I've given you my entire right side of my body between my elbow surgery and my Achilles surgery, I've given you this entire side for no reward, not even a thank you. And like, you want me to coach, you want to take me off TV to come coach. And I remember just like sitting there a moment, and I got teary-eyed just like that. And he's like, are you okay? I go, no, I'm not okay. I said, this is what you can do. I said, I'm not coming up here to coach. I said, I'm not coming up here to do your PC shows. I said, I was supposed to come to NXT to repackage and then go back up to main roster. That was supposed to be within the year, but yet I'm still here. You took Shotzi away from me. I said, I have nothing to go off of. I said, so I'm going home. I said, cancel all my flights, cancel all my hotels. I said, if you have a flight there and you have no creative for me, I'm not getting on the flight. I said, I'm not doing this anymore because I am going to snap. And it's either going to be on you or it's going to be on a talent. So I am going to go home. And I said, you leave me there till you have something for me. And I said, and even then, I said, I need to approve the creative before I hop on the flight. And it's the first time I've ever pulled this card. And I remember thinking, I think I just quit. The entire time I was like, oh, buddy, for 3 months, you've been saying like, yeah, I think I'm going to quit today. Yeah, I'm going to quit today. And then I actually did, I think. And I remember just kind of getting real small and quiet. And like, I was yelling because I was so angry. And I remember one of my last promos that I ever cut on the indies just kind of flashed in my head is that like, well, I hope I don't come back here, but if I do, we all know it's because of my mouth. Yeah. And I remember that flashing in my head, and I just kind of laughed to myself, and I was kind of crying, and I had gotten a couple the worst part about this is that on some level, I knew that I was leaving. I had already gone and bought an extra bag and kept it in the locker room so I could pack all my stuff and leave. Like, it had been there for like a month, and I was just like, I'm so unhappy. Like, I see where this is going between the booty butt cheek shorts meeting and like them telling girls to alter their gear to make it more revealing. And some people were very uncomfortable with that. And they were like, nope, this is what they want. You got to do it. It didn't matter how that person felt. And I was like, this isn't what I signed up for anymore. This isn't about the wrestling. This isn't about the art that we create in the ring. This is turning into everything that I left on Raw and SmackDown. Mm-hmm. And you could just see it. The pity parties started forming in the locker rooms, and the jealousy and the cattiness. Well, why is this person on TV? And why is she can't do this? And da da da. And I just was sitting there, and I was just like, I'm an adult. I can't deal with this high school bullshit. And I'd be like, guys, it's okay, and I'd be that locker room leader, because if I didn't, it would just go into the negative zone, and no one would be able to have any type of positivity, and everyone would hate the job that we have all worked so hard to be at.